What's up, guys? Welcome to SoberTube. SoberTube is a YouTube series about my recovery. My name is Brian, I'm an addict, and today's episode is about the fact that today, April 4th, I celebrate 11 years sober, and I want to tell you about my experience and what it's like to have 11 years sober. So, April 4th, 2010, I was addicted to all sorts of substances, drugs, alcohol, you name it, I was doing it. I was sick, suffering, depressed, suicidal, and just fed up with life in general. I thought that, my 27 years in the planet equated to being a drug addict, depressed, and I was never going to amount to be anything. And 11 years later, I'd like to tell you a little bit about the process and where I'm at today. So, my first couple months, I was kind of on a shaky pink cloud where I was real excited about recovery, but I didn't have a lot of faith that I could keep this going. And I really did stay in the one day at a time motto. Down the road, I got myself just on a pink cloud where I was Mr. Recovery, and it was my recovery is the way that works, and that's all I can see. And I kind of had recovery blinders on. And years down the later, I've had times where I was kind of dry, disconnected. I had times where I was really overly connected, and my entire program was my entire life. I've been through tons of relationships. I've been through bad relationships, good relationships. And the last year of my recovery has been actually spent during COVID. And that's where I disconnected from my 12-step fellowships because those rooms were no longer open and available. And the rooms were not keeping me sober anymore, connected, and I learned how to be alone in my recovery. Also not in a relationship currently. I learned how to spend more time alone and get connected to the things that really keep me sober, which seem to be attitudes and behaviors. I made a lot of mistakes in recovery. I've done a lot of not great things, and I've learned that, if you're raised in chaos, what makes you think that your adult life is not going to have any chaos? And instead of beating ourselves up about the chaos that we, create or live in, we have to learn from our mistakes. Just like we have to forgive ourselves about our addiction, we have to forgive ourselves for things that we do in recovery. We got to heal always, educate ourselves, and learn how to move on. And sometimes we have to, disconnect from people. Sometimes we need to learn how to connect to new people. 11 years sober is not a struggle with staying away from drugs and alcohol. Drugs and alcohol, listen, I'm never going to be cured. There'll always be a problem if I go back to them. But they haven't turned, my brain doesn't go there when I stress out. My brain goes to, being all alone and secluding myself. It's really amazing to have 11 years sober. I'm so grateful for the people that helped me in my journey, my sponsor, my support group, friends in the program, friends outside of the program that accept me for who I am. There's a lot of great miracles that happen in recovery. I have a business, I have a home, I have a car, the bills are paid, family relationships are strengthening. I can tell you that right now I'm happy. Life isn't perfect and it never will be. But where I'm at today, I could never imagine that I would have been here. I advise people that are looking to get sober to get connected to 12-step fellowships. That's really good stuff in early recovery. Down the road, I recommend hanging around positive influences. Never being happy with where you're at. You can be happy with where you're at, but never stay there. Always push forward. Always look to attain something new. Whether it's a career, whether it's a new therapist, whether it's strengthening relationships. Always be working on yourself, and in return, that'll always strengthen the relationships. If you could be the best version of yourself that you could possibly be, your life is going to attract the great people in your life that you deserve to be around. You could be a positive influence on them, and they could be a positive influence on you. There's no secret sauce. If you're done, you're done. When you're done using, you're done using. The tools are out there. Whether you have insurance or not, or you want to go to 12-step fellowships or go to a therapist, the tools to recovery out there, they're available. I can tell you right now that my 11 years sober has not been perfect, but it's a hell of a lot better than when I was using. I'm a grateful recovered addict. I know that I have a disease that could kill me if I ever go back out. I don't feel like I'm close to that right now, but I'll never forget where I came from. And I'll never forget where I want to go. So I only want to head in one direction, and that's the progress. I'll never be perfect, but I always want to progress in this thing. I've learned I'm not a great at relationships, and I'll take the blame. But I've learned that I'm good at being a friend, and I'm getting better at being a family member, and I'm learning how to be alone and secure and happy with myself. And I hope that the future is bright, and I'm going to do everything that I can to make it that way. So 11 years, grateful to all my friends on YouTube, grateful to all the new people that I've met, grateful to be a proud member of the recovery community. My name is Brian. I'm an addict in recovery. Thank you for celebrating 11 years with me. I will see you guys on the next episode. Thanks for coming to SoberTube.